in my speech. Okay, just start. Well, I'm pretty scattered out when I was first set to give speech about giving ideas for a better Indonesia with the sub-theme of revolution. Then I suddenly remembered about the gas price issues that has been very popular lately. Ladies and gentlemen, my speech will be about Pertamax. And my name is Muhammad Isam Fadla, and I am representing Sharif Hidayatullah State Islamic University, Japan. Now, what about Pertamax? This one product from Pertamina. Well, I don't know about mining, I don't know about geology, I don't know about environment, I'm not even an expert to that. I'm just a mere passenger in a public transportation, and my friends are slightly different from me. They drive cars and ride motorcycles, but that's it. My thoughts goes back to my friend, where he, in filling up his gas tanks, he always queues up directly to the Pertamax line, which is seldom locked, not even sometimes, seldom locked. Very different with the line next to that, which is the subsidized premium. And at tops, he pays only 50,000 for 4 liters. And one time I went to him and we were engaged in a conversation. He says that it is not because he wants to queue, he don't want to queue in a long line, but let me quote him, it is good for machine. I don't mind paying more than sacrificing my machine for a low quality gas. As a motorcycle rider, he said that when a machine is filled with premium and Pertamax, there are a clear difference on them. It is more convenient and easier to ride when it is Pertamax, he said. Now I think to myself, if a man, and lots of other men perhaps, prefer to pay more for something better, even only for himself, why not do it for a greater good? Put it simply, education in Indonesia. Here I can say, well, time has changed. When I was little, maybe 10,000 rupiahs is more than enough of an allowance. But now what can you buy with just an amount of money in such a big cities in Jakarta? Well, youth today, they often goes to malls and cafes, and it is clear that beverages and foods there cost more than 10,000 rupiahs. This is different with what happened in the villages. 10,000 rupiahs is an amount of money. The cases are often where children are quitting school because they simply have no money left. Why we who are willing to buy a cup of coffee for 40,000 rupiahs and just a sip of coffee, just sit idly doing nothing? It would be nice if every education institution from primary to university has what I call an education saving for the needy people. What are education savings? One children coming from the have, he may simply save an amount of money of 5,000 rupiahs every day, and roughly in a week he will have 25,000 rupiahs, and in a month he will have 100,000 rupiahs. Imagine if he donate this amount of money to the children in villages. Let's do some math here. How many children will be helped? Equipped with science and knowledge, these children will have a capital to fight for their own future. Now, this is where I correlate my ideas with Pertamax. When a man buys Pertamax, pay more than others who purchase premium, for example, there's benefit he can reap from it. The machine is well preserved, the performance is good, and he also contributes to a better environment because Pertamax wastes less emission. But he goes out to cinemas and cafes, and there is a benefit you can get, well, enjoyment and fun, but what's more beyond that? There's nothing more beyond that. If we compare it to the education saving I mentioned before, well, he pays the same amount of money, but he still can maintain his lifestyle. There'll be much more of a benefit he can get. And don't you get bored by the campaign of compulsory education for years being propagated? But the fact are, there are still children who quit school because they have no money. This is my idea. Linking back to the revolution, well, do we need revolution? Well, I don't think so. What we need is a little care, a little empathy, and a little amount of money every day. That's all.
Hi. You had a very interesting opening, and from stating your topic, which was revolution in Indonesia, and then you stated that you're going to specifically focus on purple max, which was good. Then good use of gestures. However, I felt there were too many ideas and all your ideas were a bit scattered. I could not understand the core of your speech. I felt you were trying to persuade, you were trying to move us, but the speech lacked depth for me. I wish there were more facts, there were more statistics, and there was a theme to your speech. You had a lot of ideas, interesting ideas, but I felt implementing them together and putting them into the structuring of your speech was not done properly maybe this time. But if you do come back, focus on that. All right, good job.
Yeah. Thanks, Ethan. I think that you had some very good smaller points, but because we couldn't follow the big picture, I think essentially, correct me if I'm wrong, you were saying we don't need a revolution because all of us can do a little by little for education, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think if you could just say that in your speech, then we see, oh, okay, you spend a little more on your gasoline, you spend a little more on your coffee, why don't you just use that money for education? Otherwise, I was excited when you were saying, let's do the math, but then you didn't do the math.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to say 10 million children, and then it would be like, wow, you know? But honestly, your personal approach was nice. I like that. You're very comfortable there. Your personal approach making people think like, oh, that is me. I'm the one spending 40,000 on coffee. I thought that was very good. And maybe use visual aids. If they give it to you, try it out.
Okay, so I feel you have a good eye contact in here. And also you have a good illustration, as said before, that you want to do math, but then sadly you didn't do it. But the others, yes, you did have a good illustration in that too. And especially I like the comparison on the 10,000 rupiah with the city and also with the village areas. That's a good one. But I feel over here maybe for improvement, there's certain areas that I feel over here that your voice has to be stronger, especially during the stressed areas, so that we know that you are stressing on that moment. And also on the other hand, there are several grammar errors over here, and there are less emotions expressed, especially during in your facial expressions during the moments that you have to stress upon. Maybe over there you can improve more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, so we made it.
Bye.
You get that one more day?
Bye.
Tomorrow?